Hello my friends and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. I told you many times and I was right, and I don't like when I'm right predicting something bad to happen. Or at least I don't think it's going to get to that point, but definitely is going in that direction, which is a nuclear war between idiots in the West and Russia in the world. So what do we have here? We have some zealots and we have some people who look for economic interest. They're not necessarily the same people. So the zealots are some that are waiting for the second coming and others shit, the end of the world. And we have the other ones who don't have the same agenda. They just want more money and power and control. Now, some of them are the same, but some of them are separate. So we have three groups. Zealots, these guys with economic interest, financial interest, bank and so on, which are not necessarily the same guys, and the guys in between. Like I learned in maybe it's first grade or second grade, I still remember that, the diagrams. I remember my învățătorul Rada, my teacher at that time, he came with different wires, colored wired, that used to hit us in the palm, by the way. Yes, with wire, yes, hit us, and different colors. And he was showing us, this is one group, this is another group. If they don't intersect, this is different. That everything that's in here, it's not in here, and everything that's here, it's not in here. Now, if you do it a little bit, they overlap. Everything in between, they overlap. There are things, first, second grade, right? So same. We have here three groups. One, zealots. The other ones, economic interest, and the ones in the middle, which are the same. It's a combination. So it's two diagrams overlapping. All right, so those are the zealots with economic interest. How is that working? Well, God works in mysterious ways. Let's put it this way and stop right there. So what do we have? Russia already said that it puts on alert its nuclear deterrent mechanisms, which is they did two drills with tactical nuclear weapons. First time alone, and a few days ago together with Belarus. Now it's NATO's turn. NATO is going to put more nuclear weapons on standby. Why? Do you think they will use them? No, I don't think so. But hey, it's always a possibility. I would say these guys will back off. Why? Because you have the zealots who are ready to push the button, and they are the economic interests who don't want to push the button. The problem is these guys with economic interest tend to control the zealots unless they are overlapped. And when you're overlapped, sometimes it depends how you wake up, with a hard-on or with not a hard-on. Hard-on, we're going to push the button today, god damn it. Now, if you're not with a hard-on and you're like mellow shit, all right, well, I guess no, man. The problem is NATO is ready for a nuclear war. It seems like the Russians definitely are going in that direction, and these guys are going. The reason why NATO will not do it, I think, is because they have more to lose. And I'm talking about the families, I'm talking about the people in charge of the economic sphere, the financial sphere. Do you think these guys worked for generations to control as much as they can over this planet, economic interest, now to lose it for Ukraine? Please, these guys are smart guys. They think in centuries. They think in families, how should I put it, like their nobility. Why would they want to lose it? For you and I, or for Ukrainian? Что казалось? What are you talking about? It's not going to happen. Now, Telegraph, let me show you. NATO intoxicated to put more nuclear weapons on standby. Stoltenberg says. Now, this is Stoltenberg. He's the secretary. If you worked in a company and you had a secretary, you know what a secretary does. Makes your appointments, allows people to come in, you bark order to her or to him, in this case because he's a pussy, and say you do this, you get ready, organize this, make sure. So he's a executor, executes what you are telling the secretary to do. Who's you? The US. And who's US? The guys that we're talking about, the two parts, three groups. So Stoltenberg has no power. He's just a spokesperson that tries to organize what the boss tells him to. Now, who's the boss? I already said it. You want to see how Stoltenberg is, or who he is, how much power he is? Very revealing video. Go and watch when former President of the United States of America, Donald Trump, showed up, I think in Brussels, and had a little dinner or lunch or breakfast with Stoltenberg. Remember, U.S. delegation and NATO weasels. Who these guys are paying those guys. I mean, that's the way it is. So Stoltenberg was facing Trump. Now, Trump had a real job. The other guy, I don't think so. Stoltenberg, I think he was a governmental whatever all his life. But nevertheless, that means he always worked, not always, he probably worked most of the time with other people's money, not his money. Therefore, he doesn't know actually how to deal with money. Because if you are about to invest in something with your money, you pay attention. Or hiring people based on your profits, you're going to pay attention who the hell you're hiring and firing. But a governmental institution, no, it's not their money. It comes from the taxpayers who are mandatory, taking their taxes, so I can hire whomever. If I'm not profitable, I'm not losing anything. They are losing it. And I have nothing. The show must go on, right? So Stoltenberg faces Trump over there. Just look how Trump smacks his employee, Stoltenberg. Talks to him like he's a low-level bureaucrat, which in Trump's or in the big scheme of things, he is. All right, so he says that. He just communicates what other people decide. Now I say, in talks to put more nuclear weapons on standby, I guarantee you 99.9% certainty it's already been determined, decided. It just, we're going to do this. This is a signal for us, baboons. Oh, really? Oh, we take it easy, they're talking about. They already have it. And this is not something that they just decided because of Russia. All these things are not done yesterday, my friends. All right. NATO countries are in discussions to deploy more nuclear weapons on standby. NATO Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg told the Telegraph on June 16, as Russia continues to threaten the use of nuclear weapons. What are you going to do? Blow us up? Is that what you're going to do? They will not. Unless this group, remember they want that. They get the upper hand. Speaking at NATO headquarters in Brussels, Stoltenberg called on NATO countries to demonstrate their nuclear arsenal. Adding that consultation among NATO members on taking nuclear weapons out of storage and into standby are in progress. So hey, not for you, but for the baboons out there, they're coming for you. They're coming for you. And you and your family and your children that you love so much will have to be for Ukraine, that you haven't heard until 2.5 years ago. Russian President Vladimir Putin has repeatedly made nuclear threats. No, he just said this: if the Russians' existence is threatened by our nuclear weapons use doctrine, we will use that. So back the fuck off. So it's like someone comes towards me and comes with a certain kind of attitude. I tell that person, if we have the time to do that, if you come closer, I will defend myself physically. And if he comes, I'm going to fuck him up if I can. If he fucks me up, good for him. So here it is. That's what it is. Oh, she threatened the guy that if he tries to rape her, she's going to scratch his balls. Oh my God, she made threats. No, she told him what's going to happen. Or maybe she said, if you come closer, I'm going to use my 44 Magnum. How about that one? Oh my God, she's so bad. The guy just wants to provide some services. All right, so this is the Telegraph for you. There was no threats. They were just back the fuck off. If not, this is the steps I have to take. Like I said in investigations. Okay, it's your right to do this, you do this, you do this, you're free to do that. But this is what I will do as a consequence. Take that into consideration or don't. But against Ukraine and the West since the beginning of the full-scale invasion in February 2022. So since the beginning, it began on February 24th, 2022. Let's say, have you heard of any nuclear threats on February 25th of 2022? No, that's a lie. How? By generalization. That's what it is. All right, like these guys say, some people say, all people say. Give me the number. How do you know? How do you know? Give me the number. How many? And then it's just why would I care about those guys? Who the hell are you? That's why when you look at the shows, the TV political discussions and whatever they are, and they say, usually the anchor, the weasel, the actor, the main actor, he says, well, some critics say that this is the first question you should ask. Who are those guys? Who are those critics? Give me the names. And he's not going to give you because there's no such a thing. He just says that because he wants to attack you, corner you, put you in a certain position. They say, who are those guys? And they're going to tell you, let's say, 5 people. And say, 5 people of how many? He doesn't know that either. So why should I care? Why should I care? Remember, words have meaning. And not only, Stoltenberg also urged NATO members to demonstrate nuclear transparency as a deterrent for nuclear aggression. That is brandishing, right? Showing your weapon, it's illegal, right? In US, you have open carry, in at least where I live, open carry laws. That means I can carry my gun outside in plain view without any licenses. But we're going to have baboons and scaredy cats, imbeciles, calling the police, it's a guy with a weapon outside. Hey, it's my constitutional right. More than the right of abortion, just so you know, because in the Constitution there's nothing about the right of abortion. But it is. There's no, in the Constitution there's nothing about women should have been, I'm not discussing that I think it should be, not in the Constitution, about the right. Let's finish that thing. Yes, for certain things, abortion, yes. For certain things, no. I'm disagreeing with an 8-month abortion 100%. I disagree with that one. And not only, but nevertheless, and my body, my choice, well, remember the COVID, my body, my choice, I will fire you if you don't put that in. My body, my choice, the same with identification. We're going to go, you see, this ideology is so imbecilic because it's not across the board. You know, my body, my choice, only here, but here, no. The same, I can identify as whatever I want only in that department, but if I identify as black, you can't do that. You can identify as black. But you can identify as whatever you feel like. Well, I feel like a brother. How about that? My name is Deshaun. Why? Well, because that is just something to, for political, ideological reasons. Not that they believe in it. No. Self-identification. All right. I want to identify as God. Everybody shut the fuck up. Would that work? Of course not. And it shouldn't work. But somehow over there it works. What if I feel like? No, anyway. Here it is, my friends. You got these guys who showed transparency. So again, with the guns like that. Now, you can have it's imbecilic, I say, concealed carry permit. So you have a concealed weapon permit. You need permit to have it concealed, but you don't need the permit to have it in plain view. You shouldn't require any permit for any kind of guns you have, unless you are good in a good standing citizen. If you don't have a felony, I think the carry is A-OK, outside, inside, wherever you carry it in your pants or something. So it's illegal to brandish your gun. So if someone comes next to you, just open your skirt or whatever, your coat, and you show the gun and say, hey, baby doll, right here, I have it, don't come closer. Now, you can do this. You can take it and say, hey, come closer, I'm going to defend myself, I am armed or something like this. That's a different thing. But nevertheless, Stoltenberg says the NATO should brandish, they say, what was the word? Demonstrate nuclear transparency. So next time if someone brandishes his gun, he should, no, I'm just demonstrating weapon transparency. How about that one? Weasel euphemistic talk, my friends. All right, here it is. NATO is ready. It's ready just to try to show some people it has balls and try to threaten, to tell Russia, hey, this is what we're going to do if you do this. Russia is consistent. Those guys are not. So therefore, these guys have more to lose than the Russians. The problem is these guys are playing with your children, my children, your grandchildren, and so on, your loved ones' lives. Why? Because supposedly you voted for them or not. Now this is democracy for you. How do you change them? Well, within the system, vote them out. And by that time, there's nobody going to be anybody around to vote them out because these guys are going to blow us all up. Democracy? We need new mechanisms, my friends. And those mechanisms, you can find them in certain books. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.